This is Sharon Massey. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator at Stamp Side by Side. I just wanted to show you how to use the gift bag punch board and the envelope punch board to make some really nice little gift sets. Christmas is coming, so it's a good time to practice. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to make this wonderful little gift bag. You use the Stampin' Up gift bag punch board, and it is absolutely tremendously awesome. I like it because it is so incredibly well marked, and the directions, as you can see, are right here step by step. The score lines are actually very well marked as to what they are. So they have triangle, this is your first side of your gusset, the second side of your gusset, your start line. And once you see where those are, these instructions become very, very clear. Now, the first instruction that you have is to trim paper width. And you're doing that to determine the size of bag you want. For a small bag, you do a 10-inch. For a medium bag, 11-inch. And then a large bag, you do the 12-inch. And what's wonderful is if you are on the metric system instead of our system, they also give it in centimeters. So for example, the small bag is 25.4 centimeters. So it is good for here in the United States, but it's also good for other countries that use the metric system. So what the first instruction is that you want to trim your paper width to 11 inches. So I took a piece of 8.5 by 11, and then the next step is to trim this paper to determine how tall you want your bag. Now they refer to that as the length, and you can cut it anywhere from 4 inches to 12 inches. But I decided I wanted to do about 6 inches, which should give me about a 4.5-inch tall bag when we're through. So I went on and pre-stamped. So if you want any images on here, and the beauty of this is you can just customize it for any occasion you're celebrating. This happens to be a thank you gift for our children's minister at our church. She just did Vacation Bible School, did an awesome job, and it was a tropical theme. So I used tropical chick to use the stamp set to stamp these images. But just think about it, Christmas, birthdays, congratulations, going away, you know, anything you can think of, we've got, Stampin' Up has the stamps for it. So you can really make it individual. So this is the 11-inch, this is the 6-inch. So when you pull the board in, you want to make sure that you realize that whatever side you put here, that is going to be your top side right here along this edge. And that you're going to take your 11-inch side and slide it up, and whatever goes up against that backstop, that is the bottom of your bag. So I'm going to slide this up, and you slide it over to the start line, and it says start line. The one thing you want to make sure of is that this back edge of the paper is right up against the stop. So once you get this right here, you're going to punch it, and you depress on here, and sometimes you've got to put quite a bit of pressure on it. But it's a wonderful punch. And the next thing is to take your score tool. Now the score tool is housed right in here. It just slides in and out. So I'm going to do a medium-sized bag. So I go to the M for medium size, and I find that groove, and I just score down. So that's it. You punch, you score. Then you're going to slide your paper up, keeping it against the stop. You're going to slide it over to your start line again. Now this is where you're going to start doing the gusseted part. Always punch. I tend to forget to punch. So I'm going to go on and punch so I don't forget. And now what you do is you're going to do the triangle here. You're going to do side 1. You're going to do side 2. And you're going to do the horizontal line. You always do a horizontal line, which I skipped on the first thing, which is really nice because now I can just slide this back over here to my start line and go, oopsie, I forgot to do my horizontal line. So remember that you're always going to be doing a horizontal line, and it even tells you horizontal. So you know that that needs to go right in there. So now I can slide it back. Okay, so I'm going to go to the side 2, the last score line that we did, and I'm going to pull it over to the start line again, have it butted up against those stops, and now this time I need to punch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score over at my middle again, find the groove. I like to go up and down it a couple of times, and then don't forget the horizontal line like I did. Just remember, you're always going to do the horizontal line. Okay, so now I'm ready once again to pull that line, the last line I scored, back over to the start line. And now what I'm going to do, hold on to this pretty good because it's easy for this little piece to kind of slip away. So I'm going to punch again. And I'm going to now do the gusseted part. So triangle, triangle, the first side vertical line, and again remember it's all written there, and then side 2, if I can get in the groove. And even on this piece you want to do the horizontal. And then you slide the side 2 score line, you just slide it over there, and this time you're just going to punch. Okay, and you can set your punch board aside, and this is what you end up with. So this little tab right here, you just want to take the paper snips and you just want to snip that off. Now you're ready to fold. So I'm going to the first side we scored, and you do a mountain fold, and then a valley fold, and then a mountain fold, another mountain fold, valley fold, and then your tab. Now, what I want you to do before you do anything else, let's have a little, oh well, we'll just put it in the box. You want to make sure you know where your glue is going to go so you don't glue it on the wrong side. So I'm going to put some tearing tape on this edge right here. I love tearing tape. It's a strong tape. It's relatively easy to get on, and what I like about it is it doesn't have the red plastic that sticks to everything. Just want to make sure you get that above the score line. And then I'm just going to bring in my piercer just to pick the edge of this up so I can get it started. Okay, now what you want to do, I find it easiest just to fold that down. And then you can just bring this piece and just make sure it's butted up against there. Once you get a corner, you can kind of get the rest aligned. Okay, so now we've got this part. Now all we have left to do is to close our, put your little ones in first, then these, and now all we're going to do is put some tearing tape right on this, and it'll be closed. You can use more of the tape if you want to. I really don't think it's necessary. I guess it depends on what you're going to put in your box. If it's something that's going to be real heavy, and put a little pressure on that bottom part of the bag. It's not really a box, it's a bag. This is why I use the paper piercer. And there you have, whoops, get this on here. Okay, one thing to do to make sure that's going to stick is put your hand down in there so there's some pressure when you're applying that tape. Okay, so here is the little bag. Now, you can do several things with it. There is an additional punch back in here so that if you want to punch holes in there, you can. I don't want to do that because of what I'm going to put in the bag. But, for example, if I took a piece of paper, I'm looking for a scrap here. Here we go. So you could put it in here and slide it in, and you could punch holes to put in here, to put a ribbon through to close it. So you would just punch in here and here to do that. So just realize that that's down there. What I chose to do though is I wanted to take it where I could completely close it and nothing would fall out. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking, this is a 2 by 3 scored at 1, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put some sticky strip, well actually tear and tape, on one side. Maybe just a little more. So if you're like me and you have trouble grabbing the backing off of the glue, the paper piercer really, really helps. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is close my back up, and I just want to lay this in there like so, and do that. Now what I did is I took a hole punch and just, it's a small one, and I want to kind of go down towards the bottom, down here, and punch it. And now I have a tiny hole that goes, I hope, all the way through. We're going to check that out, see if it made it, and it did. Okay, now I have a ton of brads from many years of crafting. So I wanted to use a brad to close this, and you just slide it in, and voila, there is your little bag. So that's the first part. So that was really easy. And we'll go on to the next part. Now I'd like to show you how to make the little gift card and the matching envelope. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of paper that's 6 in length and 3 in width, and then score it at 3. I've gone on and I've pre-stamped my sentiment in it. So this is my thank you card. And then all you have to do is take a piece of olive green paper and cut at 2 7/8 and 2 7/8, and then die cut it and use this particular die. It's from the Botanical Chick bundle. It is just a lovely die, and what you're going to do is line it up so that there's an even border around it and run it through your die cut. Through your Big Shot. So what you end up with is you end up with this piece, and then you just take your snail and put your glue on your snail. And the best thing to do is do this with a silicone sheet, otherwise I'm going to get glue all over the paper and then I'll have a mess. It'll stick to everything. So we're just going to kind of do this on these leaves. And the nice thing is I don't have to worry about it getting on the paper. So I'm going to put that apart because the glue's on that. And now we're going to line it up. So you just have to decide which way you want to do it. And there should be a tiny little border around this when I get through, hopefully. Scooch that up. Didn't do it so well. Let's see if I can do that again. Let's see if I can peel this off a little bit. I haven't stuck it down really hard yet. So what I'm going to do is peel it off, and I'm going to try again. Try again. So this is just the tiniest of edges. Okay, that's much better. And so then I've taken Animal Outing, and I've used this little giraffe, as y'all know if you've been watching a lot, and colored him and die cut him. And now I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on him. I'm going to lift where I want the leaves, and I'm just going to slide him under there. So there's your gift card. How quick is that? I mean, that just took seconds. So then I want to make an envelope, and I'd like for the envelope to have something to do with this. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your envelope punch board. And again, the directions are really clear. It should be pretty easy for you to do. What it does is it puts on here what card size you have. So if your card size is 3x3 or whatever, and mine's a 3x3, and the closest that I could get, I thought that would work, would be the 3x4. I wanted to do that one just to be on the safe side. So it tells you right there, if you have card size 3x4, then what you want is you want to have paper size that you're going to be working with 6x6, and you're going to start it off by lining it up at 2 3/4. And so that's what we're going to do. I pre-stamped this piece of 6x6 paper, and it says that I need to take it and put it on the 2 3/4, and these are marked really clearly. So you go to 2 3/4 and line it up, and then what it tells you to do is it says to punch it. So we're going to punch and we're going to score. So we're going to punch right here, and then we're going to take our score, and again, this I'm using the one that we just had out, and you score. Okay, now you're going to rotate it counterclockwise, and you're going to align your score mark right here, and you're going to now use your score guide. So you just make sure that this little tip is right in the groove of your score line, and then you are going to punch it again, and then you score again, just over here. Rotate it 90 degrees, line up your score line again right here so the tip is right in it. I have to get my head down in here to see if it is right in it. Okay, so it's right in it, you punch, and you score. Isn't this simple? Rotate it again counterclockwise, line up your score line again, punch, and now you have this, and these will fall down. Now these tips can be rounded, and what you do is you just slide this into the top. I want to move this back. I'm not sure y'all can see that. So I'm going to slide it and punch, and I get these nice rounded corners. So you just have to make sure that both sides are butted up against these stops on either side. And that gives you, you could leave them you know, pointed without that. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, so we now have this cool shape, and all we have to do is fold all the score lines, and we have an envelope. Guess what? I didn't score that one. Okay. So when you're putting it on, I have found that it's best for you to close it, because you don't want to get tape where you don't want it, and then put the tape on this flap, making sure that you do not go up past that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this like this. I'm going to take my glue runner and run it down. And there you've got it. And now we're going to see if our little card fits in there or not. And it slides in perfectly. And now you've got this great envelope to go along with the gift bag that you did. So I hope you enjoy this. This is going to be, these tools are great, especially around Christmas time. And that's coming up, and we'll do some Christmas bags another time. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like more information, if you'd like to become a part of my team or one of my stamping clubs in Fredericksburg, Texas, just let me know. Just go to www.stampsidebyside.com. I hope y'all have a great day. Enjoy it, every minute of it. Bye.